for the first half of June. Oh, really? Interesting. The unicorn energy, so if you know me at all, for each sign, I have an animal energy that I equate to that sign, and you guys are the unicorns. So it's really interesting that you're coming up in your own reading in this way. And I love this because this is also very much like the unicorn within mythology is like, it's obviously it's a mythical creature, and it's like, you know, very rare. It's seeing one within mythology was considered to be, you know, highly fortuitous, and they're sacred magical creatures. So I love that this is coming up for you. Also with the moon in the background here, we are in the time of the new moon. You guys as Pisceans are directly related to the moon as well. You're the moon key in the tarot. I love, love, love that this is coming up as your animal energy. So what's fascinating about this as well is that unicorn energy equates to the judgment key in the tarot, which the tagline, which is really interesting because it's like tagline, headline, newspaper, but the tagline of the judgment key is look back with pleasure, right? It's all about being able to review or experience the past, right? From a place of perspective and appreciation. That's judgment. It's the last key in the major arcana before you go to the world key, which is the final key in the major arcana, which is like graduation day, successful completion, all of that. So it's interesting. There's this energy about, you know, the past and perspective and how you view things, right? And then what comes next? Like what comes is the graduation present about, like, you know, because it's like you can't move forward, right? Looking back. But it's like one last look back on the ship before you sail off into the next thing, next chapter, next whatever it is. So I feel like I'm looking back, but it's interesting because I saw that macaw carry that fishnet, drop it on an island, and then fly into a newsroom. So it does feel like there may be, you may be tempted during this time, or you may feel drawn to, you know, really stew in those Piscean emotional waters and really sit with your feelings and be moved by how you feel at any given time, which normally is a really good thing. But I'm feeling for you guys, be mindful of how your feelings around this time, or what your sort of instincts, how they may be directly related to the past or tied to past experiences in some way. Which also unicorn medicine is all about, you know, gifted children, and children is very much about, you know, the now moment. So are you acting from a place of what's in front of you now? Are you responding as your adult, right? Or are you responding as your inner child to something that has happened before? So just briefly, these terms that I'm using, there's within, it's a TA theory, which is transactional analysis theory, right? Which is something I've been learning about lately. So there's the parent aspect, which is the aspect of you that reacts to something in the moment, how your parents did to you, right? So you're emulating that parental behavior that you had growing up. Then there's the child, where you are reacting to something in the moment, how you did in the past. And then there's the adult, which is the goal. The adult is not reacting, but responding from the given moment that you're in with what's before you, not being influenced by the past in any way, shape, or form. Very interesting that this is coming up for you in this context, right? Okay. But I do feel like you're guided to really, really embrace your adult during this time. Okay, so we got the Tower. So this is becoming clearer and clearer. So the Tower, this is about a huge shift, a big change, you know, something coming along to rearrange you, to realign you on your path of highest and best good. You know, I call this key the great rearranger, the universe being the great rearranger that it is, where when we make more fear-based choices, in my experience, Tower moments happen when we make more fear-based choices than love-based choices. When that scale is a bit heavier on the fear side, that's when Tower moments, big and or small, come along to sort of redirect us forward, right? Because ideally being the key word, we're always living in our adult energy where we're not influenced by the past. We're not worried about the future. We are fully embracing the given present moment and making choices from love and self-love and not from, you know, fear. that's always the goal, but we are humans. We are spiritual beings in human bodies. And so we are subject to all of these human feelings, and fear is one of them. So it's really interesting that this is coming in your past position. And then we have the unicorn looking back. I do feel like there could be an emphasis here on things that have happened to you previously, or past influences or people related to the past that might, tempt you to kind of feel into those past events a little bit more than maybe constructive. Okay? Which, by the way, welcome to being a human. Like, that's completely normal. You're just being guided to, be aware of it. So we got 5 of Swords here. All right, Pisces, we got some challenging energies here. Oh, we're going to get into it. So 5 of Swords, interesting. So this is air energy. The Tower is Scorpio energy, right? Which is death, endings and new beginnings, transformation. Now, 5 of Swords is really interesting because this speaks of, well, first of all, 5 is the number of change, right? There's a lot of change within this, a lot of change within the Tower key, right? But 5 of Swords is about integrity. It's about, are you acting within your own integrity, and or are those around you in your given environment acting within their integrity, right? That's the question with the 5 of Swords, because there's an energy around this about, how might I be, engaging in people, places, things, or thoughts that are counter to my own best interest? And then you can also, again, apply that to those around you in your given circumstances. I'm seeing an image of how this is in the Lisa Robertson Animal deck, which is, it's like 2 swords on the ground and then 3 swords sticking up. And I feel like this is related to 3 of Swords, which is about heart pain and loss, betrayal, sadness, grief, mourning. I feel like this is somehow related to something or someone that you've lost in the past, or an aspect of your life that maybe didn't turn out exactly as you thought it would. That is really coming. I feel like the past, it almost feels like, it feels like the past is like this really heavy gravity blanket that's over you during this time, and you're being called to literally be a bird. And fly above it and stay in your action, stay in your purpose, stay in your focus, like be the journalist, right? Remember that headline, you're brilliant. I feel like there's this really distinct energy of wanting to get pulled into the past, and the universe your guides are going, no. Let's move it to the present. If that's difficult, then we'll go to the future, but not the past. The past feels like it's a bit heavy for you during this time. It really, really does. Okay, that's what I like to see. So in the future position, we have the 9 of Pentacles, which is really, really nice. This feels like such a treat, like such a gift. So 9 of Pentacles is very much, it's the entrepreneur key, right? It's about feeling good about the work that you do. And this is work that you particularly are good at, that you have done with and for yourself, which is why it is the entrepreneur key here. 9 of Pentacles as well. It's interesting with the tagline of "You're brilliant." That is completely applicable to the 9 of Pentacles, because she is so clearly brilliant. She has created her own destiny. She has, sat in the driver's seat and gone like, I am capable of whatever I put my mind to, and I know that I will succeed. That is 9 of Pentacles energy. And then reaching this point where she can stand there feeling really, really good about where she's come from and the work that she's put in. Why do I want to say that this is the absence of imposter syndrome? It's really interesting that this is coming up for you guys like that. This is the absence of imposter syndrome. This is being fully steeped in your self-worth, and knowing that any rejection, any kind of disappointments, any kind of past people that maybe didn't acknowledge your, brilliance or whatever that is, whether that's work, personal, whatever, both really could be, right? Whatever that is, that has nothing to do with your ability in this now moment to step fully into your knowing that you are brilliant and you are capable of anything and everything that you desire. That is the truth of it. That's what it is. Again, those love-based choices where I say, hey, I'm going to view my situation from a place of love. And I know that within that love, there's absolutely no room for fear, right? Because what kills love? What is the love killer? Fear. Spirit is coming in. I'm hearing to whatever this energy is for you, to ask yourself, look at your situation, right? Your past situations from the lens of, in what ways, right, did fear play a part in that outcome? If you didn't get something that you wanted, how might your fear or other people's fear affected that? How could love, as opposed to the fear, influence that outcome differently? There's something about, sometimes when we look at our past and we look at the people that have wronged us, or jobs that we didn't get, or opportunities that were missed, or whatever it is, choices that were made, it can be very easy as humans to look at other people's role in those things and go, man, they didn't want me, or man, they didn't, they rejected me, or man, that job didn't pay me this, or whatever it was. But it's easy to do that. It's so easy to do that. What's more difficult to do is to look at our part in how we co-created those experiences, because we literally co-create everything. Right? Which is not saying that it's your fault or our fault, right? It's really going, how did fear play a part in that? And how did I contribute to that fear in some way, shape, or form? Right? Or how was that designed in order to align me with the tower to something bigger and better? And this could be a really helpful journal exercise for you, Pisces, is what I'm getting, to kind of look at whatever's coming up for you. And I feel like it's definitely to do with the past, or something that's going on now that reminds you of something from the past, or somehow linked to the past, right? A journal exercise, where you just go, okay, so in my past experiences, what that I was really upset about at the time, in terms of bless that broken road that led me straight to you, Rascal Flatts song. What am I now grateful for that at the time I was really upset about? What upsets or disappointments or losses or breakups or job rejection, whatever, I was really upset about at the time, but now given where I am, given the person I'm with now, given the job I have now, given where I live now, whatever it is, can I go, oh my gosh, thank goodness that happened that way. That is a really helpful journal exercise that I'm getting for you, that is going to steep you right into this Nine of Pentacles, because there is this aspect of, why would you engage with this energy that feels like it is directly linked to the past? This is your adult right here. This is your adult. And this is parent-child, right? It's really interesting. We're being called to step more into a Nine of Pentacles for you. And you can do that mindfully through that shift in perspective, right? But let's go ahead and get your advice for first half of June. Let's get your advice. Oh my, it could not be better. The best advice there could possibly be, hello, is the star key. This is Aquarian energy. I love when this comes up as advice, because this is about great hope, great faith, great love, being in the spotlight, and wish fulfillment with that pearl and the oyster there, right? This is so brilliant. This is about keep the faith, keep the faith, and know that what is coming to you is directly related to what you desire. That's it. And what's really interesting about this is that we have the Judgment energy with the unicorn, and then graduating to the World key, which is the final part of the cycle. I feel like that's what this is. I just got shivvies talking about that. So I feel like Spirit is going, yep, exactly. You are being asked to do a bit of review of this energy and work through whatever this is going on in your energy field, so that it doesn't block you from moving forward. That there's something about where you're about to manifest new things that feel really important and feel like this Nine of Pentacles. But if you still have an old perspective, if there are things in your past that could be still affecting you subconsciously, then it could alter, right, your experience of what's coming to you. So we need like a deep clean of that perspective of the past. And again, that journal about looking back with gratitude about the things that you were upset about not working out at the time that you're really happy about now. That is going to be so helpful for you and help you stay, attached to a greater perspective, regardless of life's ups and downs, because that's a part of it, right? That is a part of life, the ups and downs of it all. So I really, really like that this is coming up as your advice. It's really, really brilliant, Pisces. Also, with the water here, right? We saw the ocean, but this like oyster is like on an island. It's really interesting here with that, but it's really beautiful. Keep the faith, stay in your knowing that what is coming is available to you on the other side of releasing anything from the past and being fully steeped in the present moment and your own potential and your own brilliance. Because I feel like there's been a knock to your confidence in some way, shape, or form. Either your confidence or your faith. Something to do with that. Like headline, you're brilliant, right? I keep seeing that. Oh, I was going to point this out. So it's not a macaw. I think is it a hawk? I'm not exactly sure what it is. But do you see that? Can you see that? Do you see that bird? Like on the archway there. And do you remember in the newsroom, I saw the macaw like on like up high, like in the newsroom on a perch looking down below. And then we have the pentacles here, which is all about your money, your finances, and the work that you do that also pays you well. So that's really interesting. This is coming up in this way. I also feel like I'm getting a nod towards the fall as well. The autumn, of course, we're looking at June, but there's something about this that's going, hey, like a lot of this wish fulfillment, a lot of this, I feel like you're going to have a really, really special autumn coming up here. I'm hearing September. Some major shifts in receipts around September. It feels really important. Let's go ahead and get an oracle. I'm hearing Virgo energy as well. That is in September, but there's something about that Virgo season. Just put a pin in that and remember that. There's something about Virgo season. Oh my God, I love it so much. Oh, look. It's adventure. Look, she's literally riding a butterfly, which is really interesting. So there's a stamp on here that says October 5th. What's really interesting, we're looking at September, right? And then we're going into October with the adventure. I'm telling you, autumn, there's something about that time for you. So, oh, 9 of Pentacles, 9th month of the year, September. And then we have October with your oracle. This is fascinating. And then Tower is Scorpio energy, right? Which is October into November. Okay, that's just a lot of confirmation around that time frame for you. I'm so here for it. So adventure. This is so beautiful. Remember how we were talking about, being an air sign with a bit of Sagittarius? This is so perfectly encapsulated in this because she's riding a butterfly, which is air energy, but also butterfly. You have the moth here with the 5 of Swords as well. Butterfly equates to 3 of Swords, right? That energy where it's about the pain of transformation. We go from loss to mourning to, moving ahead with all the cycles that the butterfly and the moth go through. Right? So it's interesting with the air energy and then adventure. I mean, that's what Sagittarius is all about. They're known as the travelers of the zodiac. So it's really interesting here. Oh my God. Sagittarius season. It's like all unfolding in real time, y'all. Sagittarius season is November into December. So we have got here indicators around September, October, November. Wow. That is something else, Pisces. But this is really about knowing that everything in front of you, everything that's available to you, if you consider your given circumstances as an adventure, and this is directly related to the ups and downs that I was just talking about, how the ups and downs are a part of life. The butterfly is on the ground, but it will be in flight. Right? And look at those reins she's trying to control. It's interesting. I'm also drawn to the corset here, which is, that sign of restriction as well. So I feel like there's something about this open oyster, freeing yourself from anything that's painful or keeping you from that healthy perspective and really at the heart of it, enjoying your experience, whether it's an up or a down moment.